So there are a number of key takeaway messages for the pharmaceutical industry and for pharmacies in particular. First, the world is changing to a model of precision medicine, and it's starting with wearables and it's going to go all the way into things that we take into our own anatomy and into our bodies. But this represents a lot of opportunities for pharmacies in particular. There are a range of new devices that are coming on the market, all kinds of wearables, including sensors that are in pills, and people will need help in not only buying the right devices, but also, most importantly, interpreting the data that comes out of these devices. And I think that pharmacies have a key role to play in this. We're going to need to get really good advice about how to interpret all of this increasingly detailed physiological information about our own bodies that our senses are giving us, and know what does that mean in terms of my health and well-being. How does that fit in with the medications that I'm taking, or the supplements that I'm taking, or the exercise routine that I'm engaging in or maybe not engaging in. So this represents opportunities. And then there are technologies like 3D printing, which have the potential to be really disruptive to the pharmacy industry and the whole chain, because if you can imagine 3D printing medicine on demand that is custom made to fit an individual's genetic makeup in the exact dosage and requirement that they need based on what's happening in their body right now in real time. That's the sort of longer term future that we're looking at, and there are so many opportunities, but also things to be aware of on the horizon.
So the pharmacist, even in that situation, obviously, even if you think you know what all the medicines are, etc., obviously the pharmacist is the professional that can interpret and develop those kind of technologies, so it doesn't have to put them on the outer.
Oh, absolutely. I see all of these technologies as being integral to the role that a pharmacy plays. But what will happen is a need for education about the newer technologies and how to turn these newfangled technologies into products and services that you can offer in your store or to the community, or by taking on professionals that are, data analysts to help people understand what's going on in their body. There are some other really interesting trends that are happening from a pharmaceutical perspective too, and that is embedding sensors inside of drugs. There's a little chip that's about the size of a pinhead called the Proteus pill, and it's just a chip that gets embedded in all kinds of different medications. So far it's only been approved in the US for one medication, one called Abilify. But literally you swallow this pill, and when it gets to your tummy, the tummy acids basically activate the sensor in the pill, and it transmits from there to a patch that you might be wearing on your arm, and from there to a smartphone, and it's able to track how and when you're taking different medications, and then the physiological responses that your body has to those kinds of medications. That opens up a whole new way of prescribing medicines. It opens up a different way of dispensing medicines, and also helping patients to understand what it means to them, whether a drug is working or not working. The next time they get their prescription filled, you could look at how often they're taking it and when and where, and say, you really aren't taking this the way that you should be, and using their professional knowledge to actually help to educate customers into using medications better, or suggesting, well, you're taking this medication to help with a particular condition, but based on the physiological data from the sensors, it doesn't look like it's doing what it's meant to be doing. You should really talk to your GP about changing your prescription to something else, And that's just one example. So much room for new services and opportunities.
Yeah, and it can be a bit overwhelming, all of the new innovations and the new technological changes. If you were to give advice to pharmacists, how do they know what to focus on and how to be effective?
I would say, keep your eyes open because the technology is advancing so rapidly that if you think about your business model and your knowledge of how drugs interact in the same way that you have for the last decade or so, you're going to be left behind because technologies like artificial intelligence are being used right now to start looking at drug interactions as another example. And having these kinds of tools available to you and knowing that they're there, that's actually the key, is knowing that the tool is there because then you can deploy it in your business. So you want to stay on top of the latest medical technologies so that you can introduce them into your business either as a product or a service. And I think there are a lot of product opportunities as well, especially when it comes to wearable devices and things with sensors or services to things like quantified analysis of all the data that the wearables that you might be using today are giving you, all the way to what the pills that you're taking are telling you. So lots of room for data analysis and lots of room for new products and services.
And finally, what do you think? Have you been to APP before, and what do you think of it as a conference?
Well, this is my first year at APP, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have been invited to be one of your keynote speakers. And I'm really looking forward to getting to see some of the exhibits. I've been walking past, but haven't had time yet to actually stop and have a talk to the vendors. So that's next on my list, and I want to talk to as many delegates as I possibly can. But it looks like a great conference. I have had a good look at the program, and it looks fascinating. I wish I had enough time to just stay and go into every single concurrent stream.